Hello, it's me, your host, Jake Marsh, and it's been quite a while. By a while, I mean like, oh my god, Dougal. By a while, I mean like 3 or 4 days, which weren't really because I didn't want to record this. It's mainly because I couldn't, but I especially didn't want to record it today because, to be fair, it's been pretty shit. It's been somewhat of a shit day, which made me, you know, not want to do it, and I thought I should probably. This is probably the kind of day where I should do this. It's kind of a good exercise. So I'm pushing myself to do it, and we'll see where it goes. And I guess we'll start. We'll start at the beginning with I had. I don't know if I would have mentioned this before. I don't know if I would have known about this on the last one, but I had a job interview with Chesco, which was due today at 10, which I wasn't that nervous about. I didn't think it would matter that much. And then got a little bit nervous at the start of the day, which is fine. And it wasn't overwhelming. But also in the morning, I have this little eye infection thing, which may be my fault. Not my fault, but my fault because I haven't been treated. So I had it for about 4 years, I think just at the start of COVID. So about 4 years. And I probably could do more to try and treat it. But it's fine, it's part of my life. And I woke up with that and I thought, it's not too bad, because sometimes it does get bad. And it wasn't too bad, I couldn't properly stare at sunlight, that was the main issue. So it's tolerable. But it was something extra. And also 10 felt like quite late in the day, 10 a.m. felt like quite late in the day when I first proposed it on the phone call. And then it actually ended up feeling quite early, because I woke up at 7:30, I think, and I went to bed at 11 because I watched I'm a Celeb. And then I woke up at 7, I think I got up at 8. Yeah. And then I had to walk my dog and have breakfast, which took me to like 8:30. And then where are we going with that? And it's about a half an hour drive to the place. So I had to. And then also I had to get things ready. I had to get my passport and get dressed. And I actually figured out what I wanted to wear for the interview. Because I meant to shave, but I didn't shave before it because I forgot. But I've shaved now. So it's not all a shit day. But I got dressed, which what I'm thinking now, and I'm gonna sort of forgive myself because it was a relatively stressful scenario. But my stressed self has a horrible sense of fashion. But also granted, I have not much of a wardrobe because I don't have much money because I don't have a job. So it's kind of a. You can see how that would happen. But anyway, I wore something that I probably would have gotten away with, arguably. It showed that I had a personality, which is always good. And then it's quite a cold day here in England. So when I got to the car, it was covered in ice. So I turned on the heating and then scraped, and that took me, and by now, you think it's a half an hour drive. I think it's a 27-minute drive, and at this point it was 33 minutes past 9. So were looking at getting there pretty much bang on time, and that was when I realised that the car was covered in frost. And sometimes, I think because before, when it's covered in snow, I could do the wipers and it would go. So I wasn't massively worried until I did the wipers and it made this sound. And I realised that wasn't going to work. So then I got out the scraper and turned on the heating and did the scraper, and that took about 50 minutes. Mainly because the heating was turned on to not defrost the front wing mirror, because I usually leave it on that normally, but for some reason I turned it so now it wasn't on that, and then I had to, as soon as I turned it onto that, it instantly went away. But 50 minutes I was scratching trying to get a tiny peephole. But then fine, I can be 15 minutes late. That's not too much of an issue. I drive down, and then one of the roads blocked. So it's pretty much right on the way, and that added like 20 minutes to the journey. And I thought, is it worth being 35 minutes late? And at this point, I was driving in the sunlight, so my eyes were poor. That's a callback. So I thought, I just won't. I'll just go back and reschedule it. So I said my car broke down, which it didn't. But and then I held off calling the person, the manager or whatever, because I don't like phone calls. And instantly after the phone call, it was fine, and I felt better, and I assumed the day would be fine. But there was also, I applied for what I think is Audi, and basically I've got two emails I use for job applications. One of them is basically my main one, and the other one is when I start applying for a job and then forget what the password is, I'll use the other email, because you can't use the same email for different accounts. So I used the second email to apply for Audi, and so I had got onto the second role where for some reason Audi gets you to record yourself sort of answering questions. So I'd gotten onto that second part, which would be good news, and then I realised I didn't see the email of them telling me to do that because they used the second email that I don't use. And then I did see it, but it had timed out, so I couldn't apply to that. And also, for Tesco, which the interview I would have had today, there's... At first I thought the shop was kind of small, which I thought I might not even bother doing this. But then I realised that it's... The front is quite small, looks like a sort of thing you see in a market street, but actually it's long lengthways, so it turned out to be bigger than I thought, which I quite like, because the only reason I really want a job that isn't YouTube is to talk to people, and a bigger store implies there's more people there. So then I was alright to get it, but what I've just realised now is it's 12 hours a week, which isn't much, so I probably wouldn't want that. And also I'm pretty sure it's just a Christmas job, which it's the 28th of November right now, so I don't really have much time to work there, and I probably could work there longer than Christmas. I feel like it does work like that. but it's not ideal. And the Audi one was, I think, 35 hours a week.